Hi, I'm Robert Rodriguez from Temple, Texas, and this is my Japanese carrier, Sea Dragon. To get started with the carrier, it is 30 inches long and 5 inches wide, and basically it has roughly, it could carry about 12 aircraft as it is, but an actual Japanese aircraft carrier would carry around 25 planes. How I built this carrier was using American modern shipbuilding techniques, which means I did it in sections. I built them in sections, by 16 by 16 sections, so there's 6 of them all the way across the board. And what I did was I wanted to display this in landing mode because I wanted to highlight the arrestor gear, as you can see here. It took roughly about 3,000 bricks for the ship and 7,000 gemstone pieces, and I'll show you all that. It's just the simple gemstone pieces. And so that's how I built that, and of course it has anti-aircraft guns along the sides. One of the things about the Japanese carriers is that their smokestacks weren't like American ships and go up, they went side and down. The reason they did that was the smoke was blown into the water so that way it wasn't seen for miles away or over the horizon. So yeah, and it was a pretty interesting build. It was a work in progress over the 9 months. It went through 7 redesigns as I went along. So yeah, it turned out to be a really cool ship, or at least cool in my book. And I wanted to show it in landing mode, like I said, to highlight the landing or aircraft landing. And then one of the things that I wanted to do was do a cutaway of the ship so you can see what would go on inside the hangar bay. And so you see like 2 aircraft being maintained. One is getting an engine replaced and one is getting a wing replaced. And what they would do is they would land the aircraft, put them all in the hangar, do all the repairs, loading and unloading for bombs, fuel, everything, then bring them back up on board or on flight deck and launch them all. That was one of the things that was pretty bad about the Japanese carriers back in World War II. And that's why they lost 4 carriers at Midway, is because in the process of loading and unloading fuel and bombs, they put them down below decks. Well, you put a live bomb in there and it would just blow up the whole thing. And that's what would happen to those ships. The Sea Dragon is an imaginary carrier. It's a fictional carrier, but I designed it after 3 existing carriers: the Soryu, the Kaga, and the Hiryu. I think I pronounced those names right. So I took the cool stuff from each one of those ships and incorporated it into this one. One of the things that I did is I built the ship to where I can have both elevators up, both elevators down, or either or on either side. And so that's what I did on that one.
Okay, so these actually move up and down then?
No, unfortunately not. I just couldn't work it. I'm not that mechanically inclined. So I made it to where you could have them up or down, but not in between.
Yeah, well, I think it still turned out really great. So what's kind of the biggest challenge for you working on a big ship like this, getting kind of the shape right? What was the biggest challenge there?
The biggest challenge was having enough room on my workbench to imagine it, but it really wasn't that much of a challenge because I put everything on graph paper. I just drew it out on graph paper, and each square on graph paper was a stud. And so 16 by 16 studs is not that big on graph paper, and so I just made it to where it would work. And then it was the length that I was concerned with. How long could I make it to where it looks uniform and such? It could be longer. Now the beauty of this one, because it's in sections, I could make it longer if I wanted to. I just can't make it wider. That would take a major redesign.
Exactly. Well, I think it turned out great, and I appreciate you talking with me about the build. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.